Right? Right. Because you also look at the company documents or whatever, or the policy document, you also say legal person. Okay, now tell me what is legal person? Very confusing, right? A natural person who owns the legal person.
Legally by age, some mind.
Apa itu legal person? You will come across, huh?
Registered.
A citizen.
Huh?
A person with citizenship.
Or person with citizenship. Okay. They define natural person as a person who is a human being, a living being. A legal person is a company. Right? A legal person. That's what they define. You go look at Bangladesh, that time also. Okay, it includes those a natural person who exercise ultimate effective control over a legal person. Okay, all these are BNM policy documents here. I want you all to remember this here. Because afterwards, when I ask you, you must be able to identify and tell me. Right? Only a natural person can be an ultimate beneficial owner, and more than one natural person can be the ultimate beneficial owner of a given legal person. This is not by you, this is by Bank Negara policy document, the latest one. Okay, understand, huh? Okay, how to identify beneficial owner and an ultimate beneficial owner? We call it BO or UBO. This is what it is. And most of the time, when I was in a bank or even now in business, finding a BO sometimes can be very, very complicated and time consuming. You all underwriters, you all should know. But if you're living loan, very straightforward, you know. Okay? But in the merchant environment or legal person environment, you have a problem trying to find out who is the beneficial owner. Step 1. Identify the natural person. There are 3 steps that Bank Negara has given you in the policy document. Tiga cara lah to find out the BO. If you follow the steps, you will be able to find the BO. The 3 steps. Okay? Step 1. Identify the natural person, if any, who ultimately have controlling ownership interest of 25% or more in the legal person. So keep hearing legal person, legal person, legal person, legal person is actually a company, huh? Right? So to be a BO, you must have 25% and above. This is BNM's guideline, huh? But you want to put 20% and above, it's up to your company, huh? Okay? Or 15%, whatever it is, up to your company. But BNM, if you do to 25%, you are covered. As long as they own 25% and above shareholdings, they are a BO. Very senang, isn't it? Very, very senang. But most of the time, you cannot find out. Okay, over here, this is a graphic actually picked up from Bank Negara's policy documents. See, direct ownership. The person who owns 100% is a beneficial owner. Here is a company A, right? Company A, there's one person over here, then a company B, 100% owned company A. So over this case, company A siapa BO? Company A. So what about the natural person? Remember earlier in the slides I told you it must be a natural person, living human being. Cannot be a legal person. So this is the beneficial owner, he is the beneficial owner. Because he owns 100% of this company. Okay, let's look at another case. company A, Mr. W, Mr. X, Mr. Y, company, I have no 2%, you 2%, you 2%. Who's the beneficial owner here? X, W, Y.
You have to see who's inside company.
Company. Straight away you know, like I gotta say 25%, 25% is there. So this is less than 25%. Right? So over here, you are suspicious that somebody is owning this part. Right? So this is the person who owns it. So this person owns company R and company S 100%. So Mr. Z will be the natural person who will be the very straightforward, right? Okay, let's look at this case here. Because this now becomes 40% now, huh? Because this 20%, 20%, 40%. So let's look at this case. Mr. D and Mr. E are considered beneficial owners through their exercise of control over the company collectively by the shareholder contract. So even though these people are all 20%, these two persons actually have control over the company. So they become the BO, beneficial owner. So far, so good. So far, so good. So this is step one. Because it's very easily you can spot now. Right? Very easily you can actually know who's the BO. Now let's go, if these things are not so easily known to us, the BO still coming down. Then you go to step 2. So the step 2 says identify the natural person who, if any, exercising control over the legal person through other means. So what can be the other means equal to your contract? Right? Power aid. All these things gives them the power to do that. So in this case, Miss K has complete managerial powers over company F under step 2. Miss K is the BO of the company. It becomes a little bit difficult here. But still you know who's the manager, who's the boss, who's running the whole thing. So that person becomes a BO. Alright? Step 1 you already know SEPA. Quite straightforward. This is step 2. Okay. Where through step 1 no natural person is identified to have ultimate ownership, interest over the legal person, and through step 2 no natural person is identified to have and exercise either directly or indirectly control the entity, the reporting institution shall carry out step 3. So what is step 3? Step 3 is identify the identity of the natural person holding the position of senior management with the legal person. You all do that? And you cannot identify in step 1 and step 2? You all do that? I only see one person say yes, the rest will keep quiet. Okay? Okay, senior management identify a person who exercises executive control over the daily or regular affairs of the legal person. Who are these senior management people? Directors, deputy directors, board members, CEO, CFO, CEO, or any other individual performing similar management functions. You think the top guy can do that. And that's exactly what I did in AIA. Because public the top to the CEO, group CEO. Okay? Okay, over here, this is how we actually identify. This is actually for identify step 1, then step 2, then step 3, then. Okay, let's do an exercise here. Group 1, group 2, group 3, group 4. Siapa beneficial owner here. Who's the beneficial owner here? When you say who is the beneficial owner, give me the reason why. That's what I
Step one, there's none.
Okay, Sarah, you please explain. You're sitting down and explaining, so others cannot hear you. So please come over and explain. So if you're right, I'll give you a chocolate.
Step one, we cannot identify because there's none holding 25% or more. Step two, also we cannot identify because there's none saying that we want exercise control over the company. So the third step we see here is the person who is holding the senior management position, which is the CEO position, is X.
How many of you are agreeing to what Sarah just mentioned? Agreed. So that's how we go through the steps, step one, step two, step three. Okay, Sarah, you have the chocolate. Okay? True, because it cannot be step one, go to 2%. This one also 100% you want the company, but you only want 20% of this company. So, the step X is but what if this Miss K and Mr. Z are father and daughter? Tricky, isn't it? Ada kan? Real cases ada lah. So Miss K and Miss Z, father and daughter. Now they are actually divorced. They are actually divorced. Because you combine in your shareholding number, 40%. You all know, huh? That's why coming to BO, you need to do your work properly. Otherwise, it's very difficult to. Whatever you actually identify, you must record it correctly. This is the reason why this person is identified as BO. Because BO, you need to go more steps. Right? You all know, isn't it? You know the steps. So you need to identify and put down, record it that this person is BO. You already know why. Kalau family, you cannot run away. So we know these people are actually the beneficial owner. Tapi they want to hide lah. Picap. Unless the both of them are quarreling. All this mine, this is mine. Okay? Interesting, huh? So that's why I say BO part, a lot of them get confused. A lot of issues. When I was processing documents for when I was at the bank, BO is a part where the problem. But Bank Negara is very, very strict about finding out who is the BO and what we need to do for BOs, the steps. So we really go to find out who is the BO. Okay, there is another one which is a legal arrangement. Person with ultimate control over the legal arrangement shall be identified as beneficial owner. So this is basically trust. Ada kan? Trust, huh? Trust. Such persons may include among others the trustee, the settler, the person who creates the trust, the person who appoints the settler, protector, and the beneficiary. So in a trustee, in a trust, all these people are beneficial owners. I doubt you all seldom recruit trust companies as agents, but take note, certain companies may have shareholders as trust. Then you need to go deeper and check out. Right? Okay. Sekarang tengok. Getting exciting, huh? So who are the BOs here? tell you what, let's have a game, huh? Let's all 4 tables here, each table come out and tell me who is the hero here. Then, as usual, Paul will take down the points. Give you 5 minutes, huh? So, let me know. Okay? 2 more minutes. These are all rare cases, what happens? So you have to calculate. You have to calculate, that's how it's done. No choice. You cannot guess. Actually, it is very scientific. You need to really calculate. Then you know what the manage to do. I've already given you 8. No, not doing any calculations. Don't know where to start. One more minute. One more minute. One more minute.
So he got 40%, so he got 14%, Mr. Sam got 50%, Peter is 40%, so what is
20 seconds. Okay, 10 seconds.
No, I can't do it.
That was a 10 seconds. Okay, time's up. So who want to answer? This one, you want to answer? I give you 2 chocolates. 2 more chocolate. Siapa boleh answer? Ah, okay.
Alex? The answer is Mr. W, because you can see direct, yeah,
Okay.
got 30% from company R, but 100% company S, and 100% to him.
Okay.
And then got other 10%, so we think the total is 40%.
40%.
Yeah.
So W, Mr. W is 40%.
Yeah.
So he is only beneficial owner.
The ID highest.
Okay, he has got. Okay, he has got part of the answer. So I give him only 1 chocolate. There's 1 more chocolate. Is there 1, 2, 3? BO? 2 BOs. Who's the other one? This one? Guess what is it? Okay, show me how. Why is very good owner?
Elimination method, Mr. W for 40%.
Elimination method. Yeah, that's the way. You must show me calculation. Elimination the way.
Some mathematics genius. Wah, error dia.
Mr. W and Ms. Y is the beneficial.
Wow.
Okay, Mr. W, you already know very straightforward because 10%, he owns 100% of this company, he owns 100% of this company, and 30% of this company. That means it's very easy to calculate 10 plus 30 is 40%. Alright?
Miss Y.
So this why macam mana you calculate I also.
I can count by two lazy to count.
No. Merchant on body.
Okay, let me.
Okay, merchant on body, you cannot be too lazy, huh? So okay, you said too lazy to count, huh? So this one owns berapa?
28%.
Wrong.
28% wrong.
Which one? Which one? Holding control.
This 80% is 100% is 20%. How much is this?
68%.
This 80% is 60% is 20%. How much is this?
16.
Then? That is for which one 9.6% mana?
16 plus 9.6.
Okay, this is 9.6%.
5.6.
5.6.
Clap. So that is not a lazy way of calculating, huh? So you know how to calculate? Okay. Gentlemen, come here. Show them how you calculated and you got 25.6. So who is the beneficial owner now? Mr. W and Ms. Y. Confirm Ms. Y has more than 25%. 25, so the shareholding is 25.6%. So he has calculated. Please show them the calculation.
80% of company E, so 100% of company M. So this is 80% of 20%, which is 0.16%, which is 16%. Then 80% of company M and company E own 60% of company Q. So 80% times 60. 60% is 48%. 48% own 20% of company A. So 48% of 20% is 9.6%. So 9.6% plus 3.
Okay, how many of you are going Faham? Everybody Faham, huh? Okay, I'm going to pick 2 people from here. You come and show me the calculation. Come with you. show me the calculation. Over here, what? Anuja, show me how the calculation. Over here, what's the name? You show me the calculation. Because you all say you all know, huh? Correct, I want you to show me how the So this is interesting, isn't it? This is how you actually do and find out your viewers. Right? Not lazy way out. Lazy way out, dapat 40%. You work the proper way, you only dapat 25.6%. So you need to do a little bit of calculation. Plus 9.6. Okay, good. Okay, those and pointed finger, please come over and do your calculations. Show me whether it's correct. So, perhaps erase first. This is why I'm asking you all to do this, because then only you remember it, you planted in your mind how to calculate. Come, Anuja. Processing now. Boy. Oh, still understanding. But just now, nobody showed their hands and you understand. Nobody said understand. Never say anything is bad. Never say anything is bad. I want you to show the calculation, because only then you all will understand. Sarah worked out already, so okay. Next. Which table next? Come. Waiting too long already.
Vasu, just to give them some breathing time, tell me again what's the beneficiary owner?
Beneficial owner is the owner of the company who actually controls the company.
Define control.
Huh?
What do you mean by control? What do you mean by control?
Control.
What do you mean by
He
that?
actually owns the company. Beneficial owner is a person who owns the company. And there is a reason why we need to identify him.
Okay, so if there are 5 people that each at 20%, how do you therefore determine?
Remember the steps 1, 2,
Nope, I don't remember at all. What is it? Tell me. Just to get them breathing time. So.
Step 1 is you need to identify. If it's all 20%, then you go to step 2.
Okay.
Because in step 1 you cannot identify who's 25%.
Okay.
So step 2 you try to identify. Is there a person there? No. So the CEO becomes a beneficial owner.
Okay.
But then inside there you realize there's a daughter and a husband, a father and a daughter. So you know for sure they're only 20%. So they are 40%. Because family unit. So the third step is, step 1, you cannot identify. Step 2, you cannot identify. So you go to third step is you identify the senior management staff. So these are the 3 steps that Bank Negara allows us to. Of course, Bank Negara follows FATF recommendation.
So in this particular exercise, they're just calculating for each individual how much of the percentage they own.
Correct. So anybody who has 25% and more becomes a beneficial owner of company A.
Why 25? Is
That's
that
what Bank Negara says. Earlier slide.
okay? Thanks.
Says 25% and above are BO.
So just technically we need to calculate. Right now the exercise is to calculate how much X, Y, and Z own. It's an easy one. I do for you.
So why I showed this is because in most merchant businesses, sometimes it's not so direct. It can be given many layers.
Understood.
Many layers.
So right now they're all calculating the hard part. I'm assuming they're calculating how much does Y own. I'm assuming that's what they're kind of like struggling around.
No. They didn't do it.
Sorry?
Based on this, they calculated and found out why that percentage.
But why are they all like scrambling at? Are they scrambling at Y?
They don't know. It's not so straightforward in the format.
Okay.
But actually, it's very straightforward.
This is, okay, let me see if I can count this number. How much Y? Yeah, that's the big question, huh? Yeah, Y. Okay, fine.
All you need to see is
20,
this
100,
person,
80 equals
how much
to.
goes here.
Yep, got you there.
So it's 20% money.
Yep, 1 second.
Money is coming.
20% times 1 times 0.8. Boss. Move your cursor. Move your cursor. Screen. Move the cursor. 6%. Okay. And then you have 80%. And then you have 60%. So you have 0.2 times 0.6 times 0.8.
Belum calculate lagi ya, the tables. So, jadi
25.6 lah, senang boy.
kan? He just second he already got it correct. One chocolate, right? You see, he already calculated 25.6. But I tell you what, can you show on the table there, because you already saw the answer. Show the calculator, please. So we ask the HR officer, manager to do it. He's going to calculate.
Senang lah, basic.
Wow.
Okay, calculate. Big clap. He just asked me a couple of questions, he got the answers right. So, take a look how he calculated. Okay. You need to really look at it and see the percentage. Then you'll be able to calculate. So this person actually owes 25.6%. So this person is also a BO. Right? So there are two BOs. W 40%, this Y 25.6%. Interesting? Right? Stop. Just give me another 5 minutes. Okay. Now I want to go into something. Now I want to go into a real case one. Right? Real case one. Who owns my airline? Somebody who tells me correctly, I will give you one chocolate. This one is a real case, huh? Because you know my airline. So lifts up the hand and tells me, we'll get 1 sweep. Don't think it's just a sweep, huh? Sweep means per half kilo. So end of the day, you're collecting points. Okay? Tell me over here, who is the beneficial owner? Somebody have to answer something. Tell me something. Anybody? Put up your hand. Put up your hand, please. Yes. Zillion Welfare Heart. Some more? Some more? Who? Teo Keng Hock. Some more?
Who owns all three though?
Okay. So the thing is that this is 99.25%, but this is a legal person, not a natural person. This one, like what Simon said, because there is no legal person, natural person, sini ada. But this person is only 1%. So what you need to do?
And what is the population?
So you need to go and go down to now and find out
Okay.
who owns zero.
Oh, I feel like this.
Right? So now you know Sean Go and Neo Henry own Zero Berhad 50% share. Okay? So they are the beneficial owners. What? This one looks like husband.
Yeah, can't tell. Can't tell from
Okay,
logo.
maybe give it that, okay? Right? So, but then we still have not find the UDO, ultimate beneficial owner. Because when you check their background, this is the son, this is the mother, they are not working, he was a student. This is a real case, huh? You don't know which case or not? After that, I'll tell you. My alliance member yesterday showed you a slide, close shop, right?
Your merchant.
I serve.
Oh. So who's the beneficial owner? Why?
Sebab dia dah dia senior manager.
So now you can see that. He is the ultimate beneficial owner. He is the BPO. This is the wife, this is the son.
Roxy.
So this is real case, huh? Bukan tipu-tipu, huh? Because when this alliance was planning to when they close and all that, because this remember this ISEF incident, the financial money laundering and all that. This alliance was set up for what purpose? At what stage you think? Or what did they do? They get the good money, the bad money, they blend. Remember I mentioned earlier? You take a merchant. So the airlines means very big, man. Of course, they also did money laundering very big. So the way to cover, the way to wash it and blend it is through this. Tapi what happened? Why they have to close down? Why they have to close down? They went into financial difficulties. Why they went into financial difficulties? Because it was caught for money laundering. Do you know what was the fine? What was the fine? 50 million ringgit Malaysian. 50. So what happened? We finance lah. Now we understand. So if ever the bank or the service provider, merchant service provider did a little bit of work, they would have found out this person has been caught for money laundering. because that was in 2021. The airline was for 2022. Of course, iServe Payment Gateway was providing the back-end processing. The actual bank which was providing the Visa and MasterCard transaction was Affin Bank. So Affin Bank, I'm not too sure who paid because the story never came out. It's 9.6 million they have to pay back and charge back. Right? So he would have actually survived if there was not 50 million fine on him. The bank didn't catch him. NACC didn't catch him. Probably my airline will be flying now. Right? So understand recruiting merchants, onboarding, CDD, BO, super important. So if they have found out this fellow is the ultimate beneficial owner, you do a background check, you would have found out he has been caught for money laundering. Probably you will not be able to see the experience of that because it's a very short time. But in the news, ada you're supposed to look at the media, isn't it? When you do a screening, right? Media news. So if you have been following, you should have known. That's what CDD is about. Huh? End of the day, what happened to all of them? Father, husband, wife, son, what happened to them? Typically they went to the jail. I think they were there for 2 weeks, 1 or 2 weeks. All three of them. Don't know whether they put the same cell on it. We're not sure. But they were. Okay, this is a rain case. So that's why I said calculating and knowing the people behind the company is so important. The beneficial owner is so important. If this person is not a beneficial owner, this thing would have not happened. You know why? Because somebody is financing the company. Right? But this guy is the one who's actually financing it. There were a couple of directors, shareholders there, tapi nama saja.
So the finding on Affin Bank is that they fail on
Those stories cannot be. Because 9.6 million.
so no fine nothing for it.
That's what I'm saying. After the story didn't come out, I don't know what to do. So chargeback siapa bayar? Somebody has to pay. Service not delivered. High delivery risk, remember we talked about it earlier? Service not delivered. If service not delivered, you can refund
Cashback.
to merchant,
Service not
to
rendered. Memang boleh cashback.
you need to refund.
Normally they cover all the story because due to regulation.
Actually, even the licensing, remember there was a big story came up. How did they give the license to this people? The airline license, remember? Was there a proper CDD done? All the story came out, all in the papers up. I got all this news
Yeah,
from
sure.
Jerry. But anyway, just for students, your HR manager's information, I actually was looking for them for 6 months when this thing happened. So that's why I know the story so well. You know, after that I start reading the background. So I use this case study as a for merchant onboarding, anti-money laundering and everything. Everywhere I go, I use this. True story, man. Okay, let's move on. Another 5 more minutes, then we go for lunch. Okay, PNM says that you need to find out, this is for PNM, huh? You go to the PNM's website, the PNM website, you can find out. PNM says that you need to find out who's the BO, UBO of these entities. Private and public companies, government-aided companies, partnerships, foundations, companies, associations, NGOs, charities and trusts. Okay, you go there, they have actually listed down which companies you need to find out. So all those things which I've shown here is, as I mentioned, most of it is picked up from policy document for PNM. Either it's Amla or Vijay. So they keep changing. probably 1 or 2 years to keep changing, so you need to go back and take a look at it. Or you need to go to their website. to do something. Okay? Understand, huh? Let me just go quickly on Case Bernard. Pedigree International, this is actually a remittance company here. All these are reporting institutions to Venezuela. All these are supposed to report to Venezuela. The reporting is, you all know what is RE, isn't it? Reporting entity, sir? So was fined so much by BNN when they found out MISP customers had conducted remittance transaction on behalf of third party. So what you need to do? You fail to identify the deal. You fail to identify and verify the deal. So this thing actually is a news that came out. I cut and paste it up. Not typed out by me. It's just cut and paste. So you can see, because they have not done, they did not find out who is the DO. When they did the revelation, they did the on-site visit and they realized all transactions are done by third parties, for behalf of third parties. So the DO was not identified and verified. These DOs would be money launderers or whoever they would be. Okay, so with that, I think I will stop here. We will go for a quick makan. As I mentioned earlier when I started, CDD is actually takes longer than the period that has been given, so this will go back to after lunch. So after lunch I will continue, it's already almost finishing, just a little bit more. Then I will go to the last topic, the last module after lunch, after finishing. Okay? So before we go for lunch, any questions on videos or anything that we have covered so far? 5 minutes more.
Yeah, MOB, do you do BO? Do you take the BO or find like the BO in your MOB?
Okay, what he's basically asking is virtual body, we do BO. Of course we do, right? So that's what we've been covering up just now. So any questions on BO? Calculation, you know how to calculate, huh? I think basically even you know how to calculate. Even if it goes down, you will calculate, and you already know the 3 steps. Right?
Don't take lightly a BO, because bank account is all the BO.
Just say, right, document says Mr. A owns, let's say 30%, and Mr. B owns, let's say 20%, but then sales or the customer said actually Mr. B has 20%. So I think the PO should be the 60%.
No, when you say A is 30%, the other person is 20%, who owns the other 50%? Someone 50%. So he has identified 20% as actually the owner of the company by 20%. So the 30% is definitely going to take, because by definition, shareholding and the next person is yes.
Both are.
Betul. Sampai ke zero. You zero, berapa you saw? You want nothing. So it could be the opposite distribution. Right? 30 seconds. Okay. Go ahead. So step 1, public. Step 2, public. Step 3 lah. No, step 3 is the income senior management. But you cannot say, oh, I cannot find. There must be a reason why you cannot find. Right? There is only 3 steps Bank Negara has given us. Not they given us. There's no to actually from
Sekarang dah berapa
FedF.
ni dah
You know, worldwide they use these things. So most of the time what happens is you will ask the merchant to also declare. Who is it? If you cannot find the PO, you only ask. So when you see, when you know the PO, who is not the shareholder or directors in this picture or wherever, you need to take your IC, you need to do all this thing. Okay, when we come to screen sections, I'll talk about that part. So okay, if there's nothing to ask, so you are very clear, you can go for lunch now, come back at 1:15. Thank you. Because you gave it it's okay, no issue. So come back by 1:30 should be okay lah, because the girls all are waiting for prayers. 1:30. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, it's not wrong.
Ciao.